Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four podcast. Alex is not with us today. Shocking development. But Luke, Mike, and I are here, and we're going to start with Michigan's possible coaching news this week. We'll see what happens. Mike has some fake sources he wants to share, so go ahead.
What? What are you talking about? Listen, I've been saying it for the entire year. Michigan is going to extend Jim Harbaugh. And listen, firing is off the table. Firing was never going to happen. Michigan is way too, they think they're different. They think they're not a big-time program. So firing was never on the table for Jim Harbaugh, even if they went 0-8 in this condensed season. What's either going to happen is one of two things. There's an 80% chance that Jim Harbaugh is back at Michigan next year. And it's going to be a short-term extension, like three years, maybe 2 to 3 years, with more incentives than the base salary is going to be lower, but the incentives are going to be higher, which is how most contracts should work, to be honest with you. But he's going to be back 80%, and then the other 20% is that he goes to an NFL job, and I don't see an NFL team wanting that problem. But the university will take him, so it's great for me. I mean, I love Jim Harbaugh. He's one of my most favorite coaches out there. I mean, he's a great guy, great coach, does so many good things for Michigan State. So I really appreciate him coming back next year.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I think he'll probably be back next year. I mean, they have to make a decision here before signing day. The news came out yesterday that they're not going to, but they should. Knowing Michigan, they'll somehow screw this up and extend him to a 1-year deal, which will screw him even more. And I think he deserves an extension. I think he deserves a year or two more to see if he can get it back on track. But I wouldn't be shocked if they got rid of him.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think there's any way of knowing what's going to happen. I mean, Mike has some fake sources. Mike thinks he's in the know because he listens to Detroit sports radio for a half an hour every day.
Not true. I've not listened to it in about a week.
So he thinks Mike Valeni, and I don't even know who else is on there. And then some Michigan homer on Twitter who he thinks knows everything is also one of his sources. So I have no idea what's going to happen.
You haven't read his book about how big Bo Schembechler's balls were?
Yeah, I'm not going to speculate. I don't think he's going to be back next year. I've made that clear, but this is not a...
Yeah, you don't want him back next year.
This is a non-topic because nothing's happened.
Chris is trying to talk this into existence, and he knows he's not. Yeah. He's not right.
Chris doesn't want him back, but he thinks he'll be back. He knows he'll be back.
He's not going to be back. All right, this is a non-topic, so we're going to move on.
I can't wait until he gets extended.
Ohio State blows the doors off of Michigan State. What do we have to say about this game?
Yeah, great win for Ohio State. We had 25 players available, and we just beat the shit out of them. We looked really good on offense. Well, Justin Fields carried the offense, but we looked really good on defense, especially with limited defensive players. I know Michigan State isn't a great offensive team, but it was a great bounce back from the last couple of games where people have kind of been questioning the defense. The defense looked really good. Obviously, I wish we could have played Michigan this week, but and give another chance to see if that defense has really improved or if it was a fluke. I mean, we'll have a chance to see against Northwestern here, but I'm really excited. That was a really positive game, especially with all everything that was going on with COVID and everything in the program, and being able to bounce back like that, especially with Ryan Day out, some other coaches out, a decent amount of our starting players out, basically the whole offensive line. And to bounce back like that and to beat Michigan State, who they've beaten good teams this year. I mean, they have the ability to beat good teams and beat them 52-3. I think it's a great win. Probably our best win of the year.
Yeah, good win for Ohio State. They did what they were supposed to do. Look at it from a Michigan State standpoint. I thought we played pretty well on defense. I thought our secondary played very well. Justin Fields only 199 yards, and 50 of them came on that final pass that made it 52-10 to Olave. So if you take that away, which I know you're not really supposed to, but if you take that away, that's less than 150 yards through the air. Thought our secondary played well. Our defensive line played well for the most part. The run game up the middle, I thought we played pretty well. We couldn't contain the zone read, and he just absolutely destroyed us all game, keeping that ball, and we couldn't tackle him. We had guys ready for him, and he's too athletic for us. Our white linebackers couldn't get to him. Ohio State's very impressive offensively. They've got weapons everywhere, and it's not like their offensive line got way worse losing 3 starters. I mean, they could just plug in another 5-star recruit in there, and he's not going to be as good as their starter, but he's still better than every other offensive line we probably played all year. So offensively, we sucked, which is happens all the time. I wasn't surprised about that. Wasn't surprised the fact that we had more punts and first downs in the first half. It happens all the time. Rocky, he's a great leader, and he's a gunslinger, and he plays through everything, and that the mentality that I'm sure Mel Tucker likes. But he's just simply not the best quarterback on this roster. I expect a quarterback change. I expect Peyton Thorne, who played very well in this game. I know Ohio State kind of played a little bit softer in the second half, but he was still able to make the throws, make better throws. And he moved the ball a little bit, got that touchdown on the 2-play touchdown drive. He looked pretty good on that drive. He could run the ball too, a little bit better than Rocky. I expect a quarterback change. Running game, couldn't really get much going, but Ohio State's got probably the best defensive line in the Big Ten. We ran the ball okay for our standards. It's still, we ran the ball poorly, but for our standards, it was okay. I just want to talk about how terrible the officiating was, because we were getting screwed left and right.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead now, and I'll talk about this game.
How do you get screwed when you lose 52-3?
No, they had nothing to do with the outcome. I'm just saying, how do you call a roughing the passer on a body weight sack on Justin Fields, and then Rocky Lombardi gets absolutely fucking slammed into the ground and gets a concussion and no foul? Give me a freaking break. That is ridiculous. And then they called unsportsmanlike conduct on Mel Tucker for yelling at his own player. That is absolutely ridiculous. The ref who threw that flag should be suspended and should be fired. That's a joke. Apparently, you can't even. I'm going to make that a race thing, because that was a white coach. That never happened to a white coach. Just because Mel Tucker's black. That's why he threw the flag. It's ridiculous.
Okay. This game, and I'd like to make an announcement to all of our viewers. After agreeing with me last week that Ohio State would need some sort of help to get in the playoff, Mike has radically changed his view as soon as Michigan State plays them. Just like he does for the basketball team. And Mike, I just want you to acknowledge that.
No, listen, it hasn't changed. Nothing's changed.
Oh, really? It hasn't changed? Yeah. I'm going to pull a clip.
What's changed is I want the best 4 teams in the playoff, which is, I didn't used to think that. I used to think the 4 most deserving teams.
And that's changed in the last.
I'm sick of the semifinal blowouts. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of the 52-0.
So that opinion of yours changed in the last week.
No, what changed is I think Ohio State's a better team. That's what's changed.
Yeah, it's because they play your team.
I thought that I knew deep in my heart Ohio State was a better team, but I just didn't think that the committee would give Ohio State the nod over Notre Dame. And I don't know if I still think that, but I think Ohio State's a better team for sure. It's not even close.
Then you tried to say that Notre Dame shouldn't get in because of what they did against Syracuse, and they beat Syracuse by the same amount as Clemson. You said, no, I only care about first quarters.
Yeah, so, I only care about first quarters. What do you do early in the game? How do you set the tone? Notre Dame is terrible at that.
Okay. Yeah, anyways, not much to take out of this game. Ohio State, obviously the much better team here. But I do want to get into something here. I'll get your thoughts on this. The Big Ten did change their rules, so Ohio State can play in the Big Ten championship after their game against Michigan was canceled this weekend. We'll talk about that a little bit too. But my thoughts on that, it's a disgrace from the Big Ten. Indiana earned it. They played their games, and
they earned it. They earned it by losing to Ohio State.
Listen, Ohio State did not play their games, and Indiana did. So Indiana should have been rewarded, and they weren't. Whatever. My opinion still stands on Ohio State. If Florida and Clemson win next weekend, Ohio State will not be in the playoff. But that's unlikely. But, it's a disgrace from the Big Ten. But I was happy the Michigan game was canceled because it saves me from embarrassment.
Okay. See, I would somewhat agree with you if the two teams, if it wasn't Ohio State and Indiana, or two teams that haven't already played, like if it was Ohio State and Michigan was 6-0 going into the game, and Ohio State was 5-0, and they need to play that game, and they didn't play it, and then they were like, oh, we're gonna, or Michigan was 5-1, and Ohio State was 5-0, and they hadn't played yet, and they were like, oh, we're just gonna change the rules, so now Ohio State can just make it because they're the better team. I would understand the argument there and why people would be upset, because Michigan would have had their chance to beat Ohio State.
Don't get COVID, and you wouldn't have had a problem.
But the fact that Ohio State beat Indiana, and even if they played the game, it wouldn't matter. They would still be in the Big Ten championship game, even if they lost by 100,000 points.
No, they would not.
Yes, they would.
No, they wouldn't. Indiana would have the better record.
No, Ohio State has the tiebreaker over them.
What tiebreaker?
Head to head.
They would have split.
They would have split.
If they played again and Indiana won, they would have split.
Oh, I was talking about if Ohio State lost to Michigan, because that's who they were supposed to play this week.
Yeah.
If they played Indiana and they split, I mean, I guess, but Indiana already has a game this weekend.
Well, they should have played Texas A&M.
No, why would Ohio State play Texas? See, I love the fact that the Ohio State football program apparently wanted to play Texas A&M, but there was no reason for the Big Ten to let them play Texas A&M.
Yeah, they are, because Ohio State needs help.
No, Texas A&M needs help.
Yeah, they do.
Did you see what Pete Thamel said on Twitter?
What?
No.
So Indiana's having COVID issues right now. So their game against Purdue got canceled. And next week...
Oh, let's play Purdue!
Purdue, no, it's both programs. It's not just Indiana. But next week, for the Big Ten championship...
No, we're not entertaining this. We're not entertaining this. No,
I have to say this. If Indiana can't play it, and the rule is still instated so that Ohio State can't make it, it'd be Michigan State versus Penn State for the East. 2-5 football teams playing for the Big Ten East, and the winner would go to the Big Ten championship.
Yeah,
I think the Big Ten should keep the rule just because of that. They should have kept the rule, just so a 3-5 Michigan State team go to the Big Ten championship.
Mike, you should be mad because Michigan State was robbed of an appearance in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I do feel robbed. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's not the fact that we lost 49-7 to Iowa and 24-0 to Indiana and like 49-35 to Rutgers. No, it wasn't that. It was the fact
52-3 to Ohio State.
Yeah, it was 52-12 actually. Get it right. It was the fact that the Big Ten didn't keep their rule that they stated at the start of the year. We should be in Indy. That's all I have to say.
I agree. All right.
You guys are fucking ridiculous.
Big Ten scoreboard. Nebraska surprisingly beats Purdue.
Nope, not surprisingly.
No,
big
very
win
surprising.
for Scott Frost.
Penn State over Rutgers. They're hot.
Yeah.
Indiana,
with a 2-game win streak.
Indiana with a big win and kind of an unexpected win over Wisconsin. And Iowa had to rally a little bit, but they beat Illinois on the road. Reaction to some of these games?
Yeah, obviously Iowa's kind of put together kind of a surprising season here and snuck up in the rankings. I don't want to say it's a surprising year, but I think they've really snuck up in the rankings.
Yeah, after Mike said they absolutely sucked at the beginning of the season.
Yep, but also great win for Indiana. Tom Allen really doing stuff for that team, especially after Penix goes down, and to still bring it together and beat a really good Wisconsin team, a Wisconsin team that everyone has been raving about, especially with Mertz at quarterback. I think that's a fantastic win. It's just a shame that they lost to Ohio State earlier in the year.
Here's the thing. I will say this before Mike says anything, because you mentioned Mertz. He sucks and blows. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Okay, I guess I'll start with that game. Wisconsin, this isn't the normal Wisconsin team. They had about 25 people out because of COVID issues. They still have people out.
No excuses.
Everybody's out. Well, there was an excuse for Ohio State. They needed an excuse just to make the freaking Big Ten championship.
No, we were ready. No, we were ready to play. We were ready to play Texas A&M, and the Big Ten doesn't want us to succeed.
Sounds like a you problem. Leave the conference then if you're mad about it.
We should leave the conference. We don't need them. The conference needs us.
Okay, all right then.
If Ohio State left the Big Ten, Ohio State left the Big Ten, the frickin' American would be a better conference.
Yeah, in football, not in basketball.
Yes. No, not in basketball, but in football.
Yeah. I hope Ohio State leaves. That would be great. That'd be great for me.
No, you lose a lot of money, Mike.
Why the hell do I care about money? Is the money coming to me?
No, Michigan State would have to go down to Division II, FCS.
Why do I give a shit about? Okay, we'll win down there then. I don't give a shit. Just fucking win. Anyways, good win for Indiana. Backup quarterback, nicely done. Tom Allen, he's doing good things there. Obviously, Iowa, that's a good football team. Iowa still doesn't have a quarterback, but the thing that's changed is their offensive line has been playing way better than they have in the past.
He
5
played
years.
pretty well in this game, Mike Petrus.
Yeah, well, it's Illinois. Penn State, good win. Rutgers, so they played well. Penn State, I think they'll be fine. I'm not too worried about their future. To end the season on a good note, I think is a good sign for Penn State's future. Same with Nebraska. Purdue's had some issues, especially with injuries and now with COVID. But that's a good win for Nebraska.
I'm big on Nebraska. I'm big on Nebraska going into next year.
So am I. I have to look at their schedule, but if they have, I'm assuming it'll be easier than it was this year. If that is the case, Nebraska is going to be one of my teams also. So yeah, I mean, the Big Ten this year, it's struggling a little bit. I don't think that's because the conference is down. I just think it's because the coaching is up, which means the parity is up. It's not that the Big Ten has like 8 2-win teams. It has nothing to do with that.
Well, also, you don't have the 3 non-conference games to inflate everyone's schedules.
It's true.
Yeah, okay. I'll start with the Indiana game. Good win there, but yeah, obviously very disappointing loss for Wisconsin. They're the team that doesn't have a quarterback. Mertz
they got Jack Cohn.
Horrible. Yeah, where's Jack Cohn? Mertz needs to be benched because he
Where's
sucks.
the lefty blow guy? What's his name? The
Hornibrook.
Hornibrook, that's right. He was the horny guy.
Yeah. Decent game from Jack Tuttle leading Indiana. But how about their defense? Against a terrible quarterback, they gave up 6 points, so good job.
Yeah, didn't he transfer from Ohio State?
I don't know.
No, Utah.
Oh, okay.
Penn State, great win. That moves, moves James Franklin to 5-2 in his picks now.
He's having a tough 2 weeks.
Yeah, tough couple weeks for James Franklin, but solid win there. Jeff Brom needs to be fired at Purdue.
Here's what we need to monitor coming into next week. Will James Franklin say MSU or Michigan State?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
He says MSU.
He could be picking Mississippi State. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we don't know what he's actually saying.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Brom needs to be fired. We will get into the coach's hot seat later on. I know Luke's excited.
Oh my God, I'm already getting a new pair of pants for it.
Yeah. Okay. And Iowa, good win for Iowa. Ferentz he's a great coach. They obviously lost a lot from last year, and he still has his team as just a rock solid team. But yeah, the Big Ten, it's been a horrible year for the Big Ten. Other than the Pac-12, it's the worst power conference, and it's been a brutal year for the conference. And Penn State and Michigan are solely to blame for that being horrible. But it's just been a bad year. All right. What is next on the docket?
On the docket?
All right.
On the Dan docket?
Pick a game we've not talked about and say something about it.
Mike, you can go first.
Well, I haven't. Hold on.
I'm giving you the BYU Coastal game. I'm giving it to you on a freaking platter.
I don't want that game. You can have it.
I don't want it.
All right. Don't take it then.
All right, I won't.
Chris, you go first.
Okay. I'll talk about the A&M Auburn game, I guess. This to me was the game of the day going into the day. It was a very good game. I don't know if you guys saw I think it was in the fourth quarter, and A&M they were winning 20-14, Auburn was winning 20-14. A&M drove down the field, and Mon threw a pass in the end zone. And the guy in Auburn had the ball right in his hands to pick it off. It goes through his hands, right into the A&M guy's hands for a touchdown. Now, if that isn't the even year curse, I don't know what is. Those are the plays that go for Auburn in odd years, and that's just a tough break.
That's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
But a great win for Texas A&M. They're still in the playoff conversation. Need some things to happen, but they're right there. Kellen Mond is a great quarterback. They got a great running game, and the defense is playing pretty well. Great job by Jimbo Fisher. Has this team moving in the right direction, obviously, and a chance to make some noise in the national stage if they can get some help.
The game I'll talk about is the San Jose State Hawaii game. I believe it was in Hawaii, but because first of all, I want to just talk about San Jose State and how they've gone from one of the worst programs in college football to now being 5-0 in the Mountain West.
To one of the best.
Okay, maybe not one of the best, but they're now 5-0 in the Mountain West. But I just want to talk about this game because now it sets up one of the most interesting conference championship last weekend to see who gets in the conference championship I think we've ever seen. And that's just all because of the uneven amount of games these teams have played. Because San Jose State plays Nevada, and Boise State plays Wyoming, and San Jose State, Boise State, and Nevada are all three teams could all end up in the championship here. And so if Nevada wins, apparently they're in. And if Boise State wins, if Boise State wins, they're in. If they all win, they're in. But the interesting part is that if Nevada wins, they're in no matter what. But if Boise State doesn't play, they're not in. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And it's just this whole Mountain West thing it's a sneaky good conference, and it's one of the craziest endings I think we'll ever see.
Okay, my game is
almost as crazy as Jim McElwain's end at Florida a couple of years ago.
My game is going to be Oklahoma State TCU. Chris's beloved Oklahoma State Cowboys choke again.
How about them Cowgirls?
I used to like Mike Gundy. I used to be an Oklahoma State guy. I'm done with him. He needs to be fired right now. I'm sick of year after year after year. Oklahoma State comes into the year with expectations of doing stuff and having a good year and falling short. Not only falling short, but falling short in the biggest games. This wasn't the biggest game that they played, but they still had a chance to make the Big 12 championship game. And what did they do? They absolutely fell flat on their face, and now they have no chance of making it.
Mike
reminded me of the Kansas State game a few years ago, where Mason Rudolph just decided to suck, and they had a chance to make the Big 12 championship game that year too. And he was a bad quarterback. Lost to Oklahoma that year. Also lose to Oklahoma every year. He's done. He should be fired. I'm sick of it. And they need to go out and get Matt Campbell.
Okay, Mike, he is maxed out Oklahoma State.
Now, give me a break. Tell me why Les Miles did a way better job than he did there.
Les Miles is a national champion.
Okay.
You can't tell him to be Les Miles. It's Oklahoma State. They have to compete with Oklahoma.
It's a good program.
They have to get out recruited by Oklahoma. They have to get out recruited by Texas. So, what are you going to do?
Okay, well, there's no excuse. There's no excuse to be not in the conference championship game when Iowa State's making it.
Well, then every other coach in the conference should be fired.
Yeah, they should be.
Okay. All right. Mike.
The Big 12 has two good coaches. Maybe three if you count Gary Patterson.
Listen, you can't even make that argument because Oklahoma State's got the talent that these other teams have. And
they don't. No, they don't.
They outgained Texas by 300 yards.
I don't care, Mike.
Give me a freaking
They don't have
break.
the talent of Texas and Oklahoma.
It's not the talent.
It is the talent.
Isn't the issue.
Well, I'm going to go look
at
the
coaching is the issue.
You know what I'm going to do right now?
The coaching is the issue. They're outgaining these teams and losing. Their quarterback can't throw a football. Give me a freaking break. They're losing to Oklahoma because they can't move the ball because their quarterback sucks. It's as simple, and that's on the coach. It's really as simple as that. Okay. A piece of paper can move the ball in Oklahoma's defense. Give me a break.
Mike, you know those talent composite rankings that you love?
Sure, yeah. What about them?
Yeah, Oklahoma State's 42nd in the country. That ranks behind Baylor, who's at 41. It ranks behind, let's see, what other Big 12 teams are in here? Oklahoma, who's at 9. And Texas, who's at 5. So you can suck that because there's nothing they can do.
No. He's developing the players. He's doing what Mark
they don't have any talent.
He develops his guys. The problem is they don't show up when it matters. It has nothing to do with talent. The talent's there. You can't tell me
there's no talent. No.
Country.
I go by the talent composite rankings.
They got Chuba Hubbard, probably the best running back in the country.
They don't have a quarterback.
You love Spencer Sanders. Oh, Spencer Sanders. Oh, he's worse than Joe Milton. Are you kidding me?
All right, we need to move on because I'm not going to keep arguing this when they have the 43rd ranked roster in college football. All right.
Oh, but okay.
I go by that list.
Mark D'Antonio won Big Ten championships with the 42nd best roster in the country.
I don't care. I don't care.
Give me a break.
Playoff scenarios. Who do you think will make the playoff, and what is you have any crazy outside scenarios that you think are possible?
Oh, I've got a crazy outside scenario.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just pull up the playoff rankings here. Well, first of all, I think it's going to be Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Ohio State 3, Notre Dame 4.
Oh, you've changed that.
What a crazy scenario.
Crazy scenario.
But, well, the problem is they can't put Clemson and Notre Dame at 2-3.
Okay, what's your crazy scenario? Iowa State has something to do with them?
Well, here's my what the fuck? Oh, okay. Hold on. I pulled up the rankings and it had the freaking 2017 rankings. Okay. Here's the scenario. All right. Ohio State wins. Florida loses. So Alabama and Ohio State are in. And then what happens is Texas A&M loses.
To Tennessee?
Yep.
Okay.
Jeremy Pruitt's on the hot seat. He needs to save his job.
Okay.
And then Notre Dame beats Clemson again. So that puts Alabama, Notre Dame, and Ohio State in. And Clemson would then have 2 losses and wouldn't be a conference champion. Florida would have 2 losses and wouldn't be a conference champion. Texas A&M would have 2 losses, didn't even win their division. So Iowa State would easily have the tiebreaker over those 3 because they'd be 9-2 and conference champions. They get the 4 seed. Let's go.
I agree with that, but I just think the committee would put Florida in over
Nope.
Iowa State.
So what am I rooting for then? I'm rooting for Notre Dame, Tennessee, and Alabama. Let's go. That's not even a crazy scenario.
That's pretty crazy.
Other than Tennessee beating Texas A&M.
Tennessee is not beating Texas A&M.
You want to hear my crazy scenario?
Go for it.
Okay.
What if I say no?
Alabama goes to the SEC championship game, but COVID strikes their program, so they don't make it. Texas A&M replaces them in the SEC championship game, and they beat Florida, so they're in. Alabama's already in because that'll actually be a smart thing. Alabama doesn't even have to play; they're already the 1 seed. They're in. Texas A&M's in. Notre Dame's in. Or maybe Clemson and or maybe Notre Dame beats Clemson, or Clemson beats Notre Dame. So you got 3 teams for 1 spot because you got or 3 teams for 2 spots. You got Alabama, Texas A&M, and Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Clemson for the last 2 spots. Who gets in? That's the question.
Okay.
Ohio State.
All right, so what I think is going to happen is I think it's going to be what order would this be? Clemson, Florida, Notre Dame, Alabama, I guess would be the order.
Excuse me?
Because they wouldn't want to match up the teams again.
I don't think they. I mean, do they really care?
You think they want Alabama and Florida to play two weeks in a row?
Why not?
I don't think they really care as much about that as I don't think they want to see Clemson and Notre Dame play 3 times unless it's for the national championship.
They'll just mix it up. It's not a big deal. And everything, that crazy scenario, and we might be heading down if everything that Luke says happens, but Oklahoma beats Iowa State. Imagine Oklahoma.
That's not going to happen. There's a better chance Tennessee beats Texas A&M.
Oklahoma gets in the playoff again and gets blasted in the first game again for like the 30th straight year. So
Iowa State's 25-point favorites.
Is that on LH14?
That's on LH14.com.
How about this? Everything that you just said happens. Florida has a COVID issue. Georgia gets to the SEC championship game and beats Alabama, and they make the playoff.
Okay, no.
Well, Alabama's also having a COVID issue. So we have Georgia versus Texas A&M.
And then Texas A&M has a COVID issue, so they send Ole Miss.
So they send LSU, and LSU's in a postseason ban. LSU's in a postseason ban, so Arkansas goes.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
Vanderbilt gets to go.
Yes.
All right.
With the one stipulation that Sarah Fuller has to be their quarterback.
All right. What do you guys think about Shane Beamer being hired at South Carolina?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Chris. I know nothing about this guy. I just know he's Frank Beamer's son, and that he was an assistant coach at South Carolina, apparently, and the players liked him.
I am all aboard the Beam team. This is a great hire. I love this hire. Shane Beamer. He wasn't just the coach's son. People, he's a coach. No, he coached at South Carolina, like Luke said. He was the recruiting coordinator for Steve Spurrier at South Carolina. And he helped them build a couple 11-win teams there. And he's been in a lot of places. He was at Virginia Tech with his dad for a couple of years. He was with Oklahoma, as you know. I think he was at Georgia. I mean, he's been around. He's a very good recruiter. That's what he's known for. Very good recruiter. He's a young guy. He's in his early 40s. He can relate to the players. He's still a little unknown, but this is a boom or bust hire that I think South Carolina had to make. Because if they want to be relevant in the SEC, they have to get some guy who's unproven and then hope they hit a home run with him. And I think they have. I love the guy. He's a great hire, and I think it's his dream job. I don't think he'll leave to go somewhere else. I like it. He had a good press conference. I'm all aboard the Beam team. Let's go.
Yeah, I agree with the point about boom or bust, because what's happening with the University of South Carolina has obviously been an embarrassment for them. How Clemson has just overtaken them as the best team over the last, 8 years. And obviously there'll always be more South Carolina fans in the state of South Carolina, but they need to start playing better. So they need to do something to try and make an impact. And this hire, I think, is a step in the right direction, because it is a boom or bust, like Mike said. All right, let's get to the coach's hot seat. Luke, provide us some information on what is going on with the coach's hot seat.
Well, there's been a lot of movement this past week. The number one spot is still with Jim Harbaugh, which I'm a little bit surprised at. But the big news, couple big ones. Tom Herman has fallen. He's still on the hot seat, but he's fallen out of the top 2. He's now number 5. Jeff Brom has jumped up to number 6. And Chris will like this one. Gus Malzahn officially in the top 10.
Yeah. You want to talk about Gus Malzahn a little bit? I know Mike listens to a guy who was talking about that.
Yep, and then Clay Helton has fallen all the way from the top 10 down to number 25, which is still on the hot seat, but I think he'll be all right. But the big news is Gus Malzahn to number 10.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Gus Malzahn a little bit. First of all, I don't think he's going to be fired. But if he is, I was talking about this last night. Obviously, if Michigan and Harbaugh are not together, I believe
they will be.
Okay. Entertain this for a second. That they're not together.
No, I can't because it's unrealistic.
And they're not together next year. And obviously, I think that would be the top spot for Gus. But if he were to get fired, if Herman gets fired, look at Texas for Gus. And but one I wanted to look out for, Virginia Tech. If Justin Fuente gets fired, who should not be fired, but unless Malzahn's available,
yes, he should. He should be
number
fired.
4. He's now number 4 in the hot seat.
Virginia Tech should back up the Brinks truck for Gus Malzahn. If
no, they should hire Shane Beamer.
Yeah. Okay. So
he pull up Bill Belichick.
Yeah, but I'll be disgusted.
Yeah. South Carolina fans would be jumping off cliffs.
I'm going to be disgusted with Auburn if they fire Gus Malzahn. That would be a disgusting disservice to their football program.
Well, you know SEC fans, you know Auburn fans. They're the most unrealistic. They're almost as bad as Michigan when it comes to unrealistic expectations, especially there at Auburn. They have Alabama expectations, and they have about Vanderbilt tradition. Not quite Vanderbilt tradition. They have good tradition, but they're playing in the same state as the greatest dynasty in modern college football, and they expect more. They expect more than a 6-6 odd year season or
even year.
Season.
Get it right.
I don't think they believe in the odd even year thing. They just want to win every year. Gus is 0-12 on the road against his primary rivals. They're pissed about that.
No, he's 0-8 in even years against his primary rivals.
Okay. Let me just go through the top 10, and I'll say if I think they should be gone or not, just like I did last week. Harbaugh, should he be gone? Yes. Will he be gone? No. I'm assuming that Kevin Sumlin will be gone. I'm not sure what Arizona thinks of him. Jeremy Pruitt, a lot of mixed signals coming out of Tennessee. I think he'll be back. Justin Fuente, I think he's gone. He's just nothing. Is just too inconsistent. They lose to too many bad teams. And they've done it again this year, losing to Liberty. Liberty's not a bad team, but it's an in-state team that you should beat, and they lost. Herman, I think Herman's going to survive. I thought he was gone a couple weeks ago, but I'm hearing that Texas, unless they can get a big time guy
like Gus Malzahn,
they're going to keep. No, God no.
What do you mean no?
I think Herman's going to stay. Jeff Brom. I think he's going to stay, but his seat is definitely warming. I think Scott Frost is safe for at least another year. I don't know what Syracuse thinks about Dino Babers, but he should be gone. Les Miles, he's got at least probably 2 years.
Got at least another 10 years. Are you kidding me? Who are they going to get?
I don't know.
Shane Beamer.
I think there's a 70% chance that Gus Malzahn keeps his job, but there's a 30% chance he doesn't, which is about every even year. That's about what the ratio is.
Okay, well, Mike, Mike, you were talking about this. They get out-recruited by Auburn, Alabama, and Georgia, and they still manage to beat them in the odd years and have a chance to compete for national championships. National championships every other year.
They've beaten Alabama. They've beaten Georgia like once in the past 20 years.
Well, actually, do you remember a few years ago?
And the one year they beat them, they lost them in the SEC championship.
No. They beat them in 2013 at the prayer of Jordan Hare. If you remember that.
2013. That wasn't on the road though.
On the just a great play. Doesn't matter. A great play drawn up by Gus Malzahn there in 2013. I'm telling you, this guy's a genius. He can't be fired. All right, let's get to the picks. I see Alex has been removed from the pick standings.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous.
He didn't have enough games to qualify.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
All right, Mike's in first place.
I'm making an exception for him.
I'm 12 games back. Luke's 18 games back.
Yeah, gonna have to start making some moves here.
Yeah. Okay. This game's on Thursday. Pittsburgh at Georgia Tech. What a game! Thanks for putting this on here.
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Yeah, my guy Pat Narduzzi, just a typical Pittsburgh type season. I'll take them.
Yeah, I'm going to take Pittsburgh as well. Big rivalry game on Friday. Arizona State at Arizona.
I'm going to take Arizona.
I'm going to take Arizona State. Close game. It always is in this rivalry. I'll take Arizona State.
Yeah, this game's not going to be close. Arizona State's going to win easily. Okay.
That's one game back.
Utah at Colorado.
I'm going to take Colorado.
I'm going to take Utah because I hate Colorado.
Yeah.
That's 2 games back.
I like Utah in this game, too. I think Colorado's kind of outperforming what they really are right now. I'm adding a game on here because Mike refused to put a ranked matchup on here. He just neglected to put this on here, a ranked game. This is number 9 Georgia at number 25 Missouri.
It's a ranked game now. It wasn't a ranked game when I.
No, that sounds like a you problem.
Made the thing.
I'll take Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia wins easily.
I'll take Georgia. It's going to be close. Missouri's playing good football right now. Okay. Next game, Rutgers at Maryland.
I'll take Rutgers.
I'll take Maryland.
Let's go. That's 3 games.
I'm going to take Maryland as well. Minnesota at Nebraska.
Apparently, Nebraska's 10.5-point favorites.
Okay, is that a pick?
Seems a little big, but I'll take Nebraska.
Agreed. I like the way Nebraska's playing, but this would be the most Nebraska game to lose.
I was going to say, this is a classic letdown Nebraska game. I'm going to take Minnesota. Okay, why are we picking Western Michigan at Ball State?
This game is for the MAC West.
Okay.
I'll take Ball State.
Yeah, I didn't like the way that Western Michigan played last week against a big rivalry game against Eastern Michigan. They didn't really play too well. I'll take Ball State.
All right. I'll take Western Michigan because I have to make up some games on Mike. Illinois at Northwestern.
I'll take Northwestern.
Yeah, big rivalry game. I know this game really doesn't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but Pat Fitzgerald will get his team ready. I'll take Northwestern.
I will also take Northwestern. I think it's going to be close because Lovie Smith is a great coach. Okay, hold on. Next game is Wake Forest at Louisville.
Who cares? I'll take Wake Forest.
Agree. I like the way Wake Forest has been playing this year. I'll take them.
Wake Forest. All right. Navy at Army.
Army's 7-point favorites. They're 7-2. Navy's 3-6. But Navy's won the last 3 matchups. Obviously, it doesn't. This game's always going to be close because they both run the freaking triple option. And I swear their teams are very similar. It all depends on their freaking schedule. I'll take Navy.
Well, didn't Army win 2 years ago?
Are they allowing fans in this game?
I don't know.
Or at least the Army students?
I don't know.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm going to take Army.
I take Navy.
Let me go through the game results here. 1891. Yeah, that's the game we want. No.
Navy's on a 2-game win streak.
No, Navy won last year, but Army won the 3 previous.
Oh, and then Army was on, and then before that, Navy had like their 17-game win streak or something like that.
Yeah, their win streak from 2002 to 2015.
Yeah.
I'll take Army. I like the way that Jeff Monken's team's playing.
That's 4 games back. That's 4 games I've made up this week.
All right, this might be.
You're only 14 games back now.
This might be the game of the week here. North Carolina at Miami.
I'm going to take Miami.
Yeah, of course, because
Miami's the better football team.
All right, well,
simple as that.
I'll give Mike credit. He's been on Miami all year. But ever since Notre Dame beat North Carolina, Luke has been off of North Carolina. I'll just put that out there. That's what's happened.
Okay.
No,
that's what happens when teams lose. You get off.
No, I actually think North Carolina was going to win this game. I just picked Miami because I thought Mike was going to take North Carolina.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm trying to make games back. Yeah. But I'll stick with Miami.
I think Carolina's going to win this game fairly easily. Miami has played, and I want to stress this, nobody this season. Their best game was Clemson, and they got destroyed.
Okay. North Carolina's best game is Notre Dame, and they got destroyed.
They did not get destroyed. So, they played with them the whole game. What are you talking about?
They got destroyed.
No, they didn't.
That was a Notre Dame type blowout, and you know it.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
North Carolina had the lead in late third quarter.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, okay. All right. Sorry, I must be mistaken. Sorry. Okay. I'm taking North Carolina in a blowout. Purdue at Indiana.
That game got canceled.
Okay. Wisconsin at Iowa.
I'll take Wisconsin.
Listen, I hate Iowa with all my guts. I cannot stand Iowa. But if this is the year, this has got to be the year, right? If they don't beat Wisconsin this year, they'll never beat Wisconsin because Wisconsin is just. This is the one vulnerable year Wisconsin has. I'm taking Iowa.
Let's go. That's 5 games back.
Iowa. Michigan State at Penn State for the East.
Oh God. Can I pick a tie? How's James Franklin's picks going this year?
He's 5-2.
He's 5-2.
Right. Who did he pick this week?
Yeah, has he tweeted out yet?
I'll go take a look.
He's gone cold the last couple weeks.
Oh, yes. He said Michigan State. He did not say MSU.
I'll take Penn State.
Well, I can't get off the bandwagon now, can I? I'm taking Michigan State.
Let's go. 6 games I've made up now. 6.
Penn State, easy. Cincinnati at Tulsa.
That got canceled.
Washington at Oregon.
I'll take Washington. I like Jimmy Lake. I think he's a better coach than Cristobal.
Oregon's had struggles on both sides of the football this year, but I think they'll play a good game. I'll take Oregon.
What's that, 7 games back now? 6 games back? I'm making my way back in this thing.
I also like Oregon here. I think both these teams suck, but I'll take Oregon. At Florida State. What a game.
What's the game? Florida State and who? I didn't hear you. Duke. I'll take Florida State. Duke sucks.
Agreed. Florida State, total rebuilding, retooling, getting rid of half their players. Pretty sure they got like 50-something scholarship players left. But listen, I have all my trust in Mike Norvell to bring Florida State back to where it used to be. I'll take Florida State, although it'll be too close for comfort.
Florida State. Oklahoma State at Baylor.
Let me find the game here. What time's the game at? Oh, there it is. I'll take Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I'll take Oklahoma State also.
Well, this is going to be a tough game for Oklahoma State because Baylor's more talented than them according to the talent composite rankings. But I'm going to take Oklahoma State because of the coaching.
That's funny.
Auburn at Mississippi State.
I'll take Mississippi State. Will Rogers is the best quarterback in the SEC.
Trap game for a tough Auburn team. I'll tell you what, this game, if Gus loses this game, he might be gone.
Oh, this is a trap game. They lost last week.
It's a trap game because Auburn's, coming in saying, we're the better team anyway. Mississippi State got 1 win on the year, 2 wins, whatever. I'll take Auburn to win, but it'll be, close. I think if he loses, he's gone. Simple as that.
I think this is going to be like the LSU game. I think Auburn's just going to kill him because Mississippi State.
Both Tex can't throw, so we can't do anything.
That's not true, Mike. You're living on recency bias here. Do we remember what Bo Picks did in clutch moments in the odd year last year? He came through.
Yeah, Mike, who'd you pick?
I picked Auburn.
Okay.
That's another game made up.
Yep. 7, 8, something like that.
All right. Saturday Night Football, USC at UCLA.
I'll take USC. I think they're very good this year.
I like the way USC played, but I'll take my guy Chip Kelly. I'm taking UCLA.
Oh, my God. I'm going to be in the lead after this week.
I'm going to take USC. UCLA
I'm either going to be 40 games back or I'm going to be 20 games in the lead.
UCLA had one of the luckiest wins I've ever seen last week against ASU. I watched that whole game. I've never seen a team get bailed out more than UCLA did in that game. So I'm going to take USC.
That just shows how crap of a coach that Herm Edwards is. They've played 2 close games and they've lost both of them.
Well, they won every close game last year. So maybe they have an odd year thing too. I guess we'll find out.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Stanford at Oregon State.
I'll take Stanford.
Yeah, that's a smart pick, Luke. That's another game made up right there. You know who Mike's taking.
Yeah, that's why
I'm taking Stanford.
Fuck, nice. I'm taking – no way.
No, I'm taking Oregon State. I'm joking.
Yeah, that's another game made up.
I'm never, ever. Oregon State could be playing Bama, and I'm still taking the Beavers.
I'm going to take Oregon State as well. All right, last game, California at Washington State. Just a barn burner to end the week here.
I'm going to go with where's Cal playing?
California.
I'll take Washington State.
I'm also taking Washington State.
I'm going to take Cal. This is a toss-up game, and I need to make up some games, so I'm taking Cal.
Wait, we need to add a game. All
right, what game?
Ohio State versus Texas A&M.
And Luke left, so I'm going to take. Give me the better quarterback. I'll take Texas A&M.
Yeah, I'll take Ohio State, and I'll pencil Luke in for Ohio State also.
All right. Any last words?
Yeah, I'm happy as a Michigan State fan, football fan, and we had a tough week. But it always, brings me happiness when I see Jim Harbaugh's dumbass glasses and the stupid Bo Schembechler hat on the sideline. Brings me happiness, and I can't wait for him to be back for 3 more years.
Yeah, okay. We'll be back with some basketball on Friday. Obviously, tonight, Michigan State was too scared to play Virginia, so we'll talk about that on Friday. Thank you for tuning in.